So as we wait another couple minutes to see if folks can join, last week I'll just share this story. Um, so last week I was in Singapore for the Token 2049 conference. I helped out the Metis team doing with the booth and connecting with all the other projects that were there. There was like a million other projects that were there. Pretty much every network seemed to be there. It was really a legit conference and a legit experience. There was so many connections that were made and so many things that are happening in the space and so many developments that are happening in Web3 that were shared at that conference. It was they call it Asia's premier crypto conference. That was pretty much their tagline, and it really seemed like it. There was so many people to connect with and so many projects to connect with. There was other projects that I have my own personal investments in, so it was pretty cool to connect and just see what people are doing. And especially now in a bear market, there are a lot of projects. There's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of volume that has left uh, the Web3 industry, and so right now, a lot of projects are dying. So right now, it's only really the it's kind of filtering out. The projects in the industry are filtering out among like legit projects and projects that are like shit coins and scams and rug pulls. And so it's a good time in Web3, not for not to try to make a profit, but it's a good time to build and focus and create partnerships with projects who are still building during the bear market to actually will actually use. And one day Web3 will be just as seamless and widely used as much as our current Web2 uh, platforms and things like that. So whether like one day we're gonna have a Web3, Web3 YouTube, and a Web3 Google, a Web3, everything that we use on our phone and our laptops and our desktops are gonna be pretty much running, you know, on networks like Metis and Ethereum and things like that. So it's cool to see all the projects who are still here, during this time. While retail has left, liquidity has left, volume has left. It's really just projects who have built up the runway and the I guess the not revenue but have the funds to make it through a multi-year bear market, because nobody knows how long this will last. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world that nobody can predict what's gonna happen next. And I'm in Los Angeles. Gas prices are going crazy. It's back to $7 over here in Los Angeles. It went back down to like the $4.50 range, which was just pretty much. I went almost back to where it was before all the crazy inflation started happening. It almost went back down to like I guess regular prices, and then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks ago, it just skyrocketed, and it's pretty much $7 again. And uh, OPEC, if I don't know if people heard, but OPEC is going to, which is like the oil is going to decrease oil supply. So, so that's going to drastically raise prices. And prices are already, at least here in Los Angeles, and I'm pretty sure all over the world, because we also know what's going on with the war with between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is a major oil supplier for Europe and everything. That is still going on. That has no end in sight, it seems like. And so, and now OPEC is decreasing their oil supply. So it seems like oil is looking like it might go up to $10 in Los Angeles. Like, who knows? It's gonna get crazy. The global recession that we're in, doesn't look like we're gonna get out of anytime soon. So, um, this is not financial advice, but I'm just sharing like what's going on, what I've seen in the economy, and the news that I just heard about oil. Because I'm in Los Angeles, it's yeah, it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing for everybody, but especially here in Los Angeles, where gas is already like $2 average. Now it's probably gonna get higher. We're already at all time high, and it's probably gonna get higher. But like I said, I can't predict the future, so who knows? But yeah, so with all that said, it's nice to projects despite the economic conditions that we're all going through. It's nice to see projects from all over the globe just coming together and still building, because we all know what is being built, and we all know that the projects that last to this are gonna have, are gonna be really important and fundamental and pretty much integral to the world's organization and to the world's function for the future in the next few years. Just like Twitter, like right now, Twitter is so fundamental to how people organize and people come together. One day, Web3 is going to be the place that people come together through different protocols and apps and networks. So yeah.
So Anthony, you just
And I'm not
talked about
sure if Jackson is gonna be able to join. He is catching a flight today to Bogota to go to the DevCon, and he's gonna help with the Bogo Hacks, the hackathon that Metis is sponsoring. So he may be busy getting with that because he was expecting to join, I guess, an hour ago. We used to have these spaces at 5 p.m. Universal Time, but we changed it 2 weeks ago to 4 p.m. Universal Time, and I got confused this morning, and I was expecting to start at 5 p.m. UTC, but it was actually at 4 p.m. UTC, and that's when everyone else was expecting to join. So there was a mix-up. So we're actually starting an hour late today. So it's a little mix-up. But if he doesn't join and other listeners don't join, there's just a few of us today. We'll probably do this. We'll probably re-invite him for next week and start this over for next week. And yeah, and do it on the on the and get aligned on the time. I'll get aligned on the time and make sure we start at the proper moment. But Ali, I don't know if there's anything you want to share, just anything random. Uh,
I just
just an
wanted to
open
ask you
space, I
about the
guess we'll
event
have,
you.
and anybody, if anybody else wants to speak, please request, and I'll let you on, and you can share anything, any developments. Dave, I see you're here. Any developments with Polaris or anything else you want to share? Svatsic, want to share your bulletin or anything? Feel free to. That would be great.
Can you hear me, Anthony? Hello, Anthony, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me.
Um,
Hello.
Seeing that nobody is requesting to speak, um, I want to make sure that Jackson from Cookbook gets a chance to join. So I want to give this till 10:30 just to see if he joins or not. I texted him, so we'll see if he joins. But I don't want to close it too early. But okay, Ali, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Uh, Anthony, can you hear me? Hello.
I'm not sure if you're speaking. I don't know if it's my end. I can't hear.
I'm actually speaking and I can hear you properly, but I just wanted to ask you a few questions about the event you just attended. But I guess you can't hear me. So if anyone else has any sort of questions, We have Swine Stick with us as well, and we have Sick Polaris as well. If you guys have any
Hey, I don't want
questions.
to interrupt if you're speaking, but Ali, I can't hear. I'm not sure if you're talking, but I can't hear anything. Okay, Ali jumped off. I think he's having trouble with connection. I hope it's not just me. I hope he wasn't talking and everybody else could hear him except me, and then I just interrupted him. But I couldn't hear, so I'm not sure if that's for all of us. But I'll share one more quick update, and we'll, like I said, we'll have this till 10:30 if Jackson doesn't join. If Jackson joins, that would be great. Oh, I see Ali back on. Let me. Hey Ali, I just gave you co-host. Okay, I see. If you can speak, go for it.
Anthony, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, great, great. So, Anthony, I just wanted to ask you about the event you just attended in Singapore. You were mentioning that there were a lot of projects there. I just wanted to ask you, since this is an open space and we are not restricted to Metis only, what other projects did you see that were building hard in that event? And I'm sure you must have some sort of alpha from Singapore to share with all of us. I mean, any sort of projects you see, you think will be doing very well in the next run, besides Metis. Anything you would like to share in that regard?
Yeah, from what trying to think off the top of my head which projects I can remember being excited to see because there's so many. One of them was Credo, which is spelled Credo. Credo, it's a layer 2 that's building on Ethereum as well, but it's not like a blockchain network that's going to host other protocols on it like Metis is doing, or what Arbitrum or Optimism or what Polygon's planning to do. You know, it's already doing, but it's just not a layer 2. Is like host other apps. Credo is a layer 2 that's really more of a protocol that's built on Ethereum. So it calls itself a layer 2, but it's really like just an app. It's an app, but I guess because it's taking layer 2 function, its transaction fees are really cheap. So instead of being like an app on Ethereum with Ethereum's transaction fees and speed, which is really slow and really expensive, its own layer 2. So its transaction fees or its transactions are really cheap and really fast. Similar to Metis, not as cheap or as fast, but in that range. And it's its own pretty much like protocol, because what it is it's a it's a it's a wallet that allows you to it's a decentralized non-custodial wallet, crypto wallet that allows you to have like allows you to swap tokens and allows you to um store your crypto tokens on its wallet, where it gives you very seamless and easy and fast transactions and experience. Unlike MetaMask is a little tough with its user experience and user interface. This one is much more seamless, much more faster, and just easier to use and easier to log in. Like it doesn't if you lose your password or anything, it doesn't require a security phrase. It uses something called multi-party computation, MPC, I believe it's called. And so it's a new, I guess, technique or mechanism in cryptography where a lot of projects are starting to move to, where it makes it easier for industries and institutions like corporations to get to onboard into Web3, have a wallet that's safe, secure, but also easy to get into and easy to recover if you lose like your password or things like that. That's one of the main things that scares off institutions and traditional businesses and corporations and people with a lot of money. What scares them off is the how easy it is for you to lose all your wealth in Web3 because you forget your wallet password, because there's no because your wallet is not part of a centralized database where if you lose your password you can email Google, and Google will send you your password or allow you access back into your account if once they verify who you are. Like nobody can do that. It's literally impossible to do that in cryptography because only you have your key to get in, and once you lose the password for your private key, then you're shit out of luck and you can no longer access your wallet and everything in it. And so if you're hoarding all your wealth and all your your revenue stream and everything that your income, and you're storing it in a crypto wallet, and you lose the password, and then you lose your security phrase, then you can no longer access your wallet, no longer access your wealth, and it's gone forever, just lost in the blockchain. So that's one of the things that scares institutions and traditional companies from joining Web3. And so this MPC, I believe it's called, this new innovation in cryptography and how to have non-custodial wallets but that are recoverable and easy to use, like just like if you're using your email account like on Gmail or something, is a new thing that Credo is developing and launching and working and focusing on onboarding institutions and major traditional financial players and bringing them onto Web3 with their wallet, and they're having a swap on with their wallet, so it's easy to you'll be able to flip Ethereum for Bitcoin or Bitcoin for Ethereum and different tokens like that, which aren't traditionally on the same dexes. You'll be able to do it through Credo with the wallet. So I can trade Metis for some random token, some shitcoin, that may not be part of on the Andromeda network, but because Credo provides liquidity for multiple tokens, it's pretty much like a decentralized exchange with their wallet where you can swap for multiple tokens right now. And the long term goal is like pretty much launch or swap any token for any token. So that was one project that was cool to see there that I have a lot of optimism and hope for. That was one. Nothing related to Metis with that project. It was just cool to see them. That was just like a personal kind of thing highlight. There's another project called Owl. Owl. They create. So what they do is develop dynamic NFTs. So they're not necessarily a. They're more of a protocol. They're not necessarily like a website or an app. What they do is help other projects like create their own dynamic NFTs. And so dynamic NFTs are like a new innovation in NFT technology. And so right now, NFTs, once you get an NFT, its metadata doesn't change and it's hard to change it. Like once you get a NFT that's linked to a JPEG, like a profile picture, you have that profile picture, that's your NFT. It's verifiable, but other than being verifiable and getting you into like a token gated Discord channel or something, it doesn't have much more actual utility other than that. What dynamic NFTs do is able to change the metadata and change the utility, like the actual digital utility that an NFT possesses. So if you wanted to maybe grant access to a Discord channel after, like, if you, let's just make something up, like if you hold this NFT for 3 months, then you get access to this Discord channel. You can make your NFT, like, do that. You can add that feature to your NFT after you've already created the NFT. So now it's dynamic because it's changing. Or let's say where this is going to be used a lot, these type of NFTs are in video games. So the gaming industry and the GameFi industry that's building, in Web3 is gonna, it uses NFTs to play the game or to access certain parts of the game, things like that. what dynamic NFTs with this technology you're able to do is like, let's say you own this NFT and now you have to gain like experience points and raise levels, and like people with higher levels will have more rewards or access into things or whatever it may be. And so with this new technology of dynamic NFTs, you'll be able to like raise like the experience points on this NFT as you complete certain accomplishments in like this video game. And so right now, most projects or most NFTs don't do that, because it's basically you have this NFT, that's it. If you accomplish like a certain thing or in a video game, then you're like issued a new NFT, or maybe the old one is burned and you're issued a new one that's a level up. So instead of doing all that, like the same NFT will just like raise experience points or gain more access. Like its data will change. And so this is kind of like a new innovation. So there's a protocol called OWL who's offering this kind of support to the NFT projects. So I thought that was cool. And there's a lot of other different projects and networks that were there. It was cool to see everybody. Chainlink was there. Chainlink was came to the Metis table and was really excited to talk. And Ave was there. So there's all the the projects that we're integrating with or partnering with right now were there. And everything's all good on that end. And it's cool to see everybody in person and to see everybody in real life, because all of us are connected globally and we're all connected virtually. And when we get chances to see each other in real life, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, and there's so many more projects that I just can't probably just think of right now, but it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Anthony, I just wanted to ask you about the OWL project, OWL protocol. So as you mentioned that the users gain experience rewards as they go. So that's basically more like the matrix RPS we have on the Metis, right? The concept is almost the same.
Um, it's almost the same as which part of Metis? Like which part are you comparing it to? That's part of Metis.
Um, I'm talking about the RPS, metrics RPS on Metis, that basically is a rating system and that basically works almost the same way. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Exactly. So that was actually what I wanted to say as well. That like dynamic NFTs will be able or will be very crucial and important for reputation systems and digital or decentralized identity systems, because yes, like the social NFTs that we've minted through Matrix that represent like, it's pretty much like that NFT is like our social passport now in Web3. It needs to be able to change. Like instead of being issued like an entirely new NFT and now this one's useless because we've gained, we have 100 reputation power points. Now you have access into things, but now you need to be sent a new NFT because that represents 100 reputation power points, and now gives you access into certain metaverse or into certain protocols, or gives you a certain amount of voting power in protocols or things like that. Instead of issuing you an entirely new NFT and the old one's useless now. And like what happens if you lose reputation power points? What if you scam somebody? What if you do something negative and you harm another party and you lose reputation power points? Instead of like issuing you I guess another NFT that says, oh wait, this person went back down to 50, they can't access these protocols anymore, they don't have these abilities no more, the old NFT is burned or whatever. Instead of doing all that, it'll just all that type of stuff will happen on one NFT because it'll be dynamic. And so if you gain reputation PowerPoints, now that NFT metadata changes and you're able to access, whatever you get to access because you have that many reputation PowerPoints. If you lose reputation PowerPoints, that same NFT will recognize that and tell that, like, let the blockchain know. And so instead of, like, yeah, having all this confusing multiple NFTs as you gain reputation PowerPoints or lose reputation PowerPoints, instead of dealing with a bunch of NFTs, it's just dealing with that one NFT, and it's able to change according to your contributions and RP points that you gather. So yes, that was a great question, and thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, and Korea, I'm not sure if folks are familiar with Korea. She is the product manager for Metis, but she is now leading the development and integration of Matrix, the reputation power system. So that's what she is focusing on now. She was in Singapore, and there was a lot of connections that Matrix made to other projects, and Korea also spoke on a not a panel, but just it was a just her speaking. She presented Metis and Matrix to the audience in a presentation, and that went really well. And she explained how Metis is starting to really decentralize, not just its technology, like by decentralizing sequencer nodes and all that, which only Metis is the only layer two that's doing that. Right now, every layer two has one sequencer node, which basically ultimately centralizes the technology and gives and presents one point of failure for layer two. So a sequencer node is a node that pretty much is the one that sends the after the computation for each transaction has been completed on Metis. The sequencer node is the one that gathers the data after the computation is done and sends it to layer one, to Ethereum. Now there's only one sequencer node on all layer twos. If this sequencer node happens to be, run by a corrupt, you know, person or organization, or if it goes down, if it just goes down for a day or for a few hours, then the entire network will shut down. If or if it's a bad actor that's in charge of the sequencer node now, they can create act, fraudulent transactions. They could double spend. They could drain the liquidity of whatever network they're on because now they're sending false transactions to layer one. And when layer one does a fraud proof, it goes back to the sequencer node to ask for the data, and then the sequencer either gathers the data or asks the verifier nodes to capture the transaction data and send it to layer one so it can do its fraud proof challenge. But if you have a crooked sequencer node, then it can basically screw up the entire network and really, actually destroy it. And every layer two only has one sequencer node. So Metis is working on the infrastructure and technology to be able to decentralize the sequencer nodes, so there'll be multiple sequencer nodes distributed throughout the community. So just like right now how any of us can create our own verifier node, pretty soon, once the infrastructure is ready, we'll be able to launch our own sequencer nodes. And so now we'll have multiple verifier nodes and multiple sequencer nodes distributed throughout the community, and so there won't be one point of failure. If there is a bad actor in the sequencer pool, it'll be fine because we'll be able to use another sequencer who's not a bad actor. And so it kind of eliminates that one point of failure that centralized systems have. So that's one thing that is being worked on for Metis and on the roadmap and hopefully happening this year. But I brought it up because of I was talking about Matrix, the reputation power system, and the reputation power system is like decentralized identity where your data is your personal data, like what, like your NFTs and what you accomplish in Metis, and you get credentials for in the form of NFTs. This is also going to be decentralized and secures your privacy. So right now, like your Web 2 identity, like my identity on Twitter, is completely separate from my identity on Google, and completely separate from my identity on Yelp, and my identity on Uber, and my identity on any website or platform you can think of. They're all separate because they own their own centralized servers. And if Twitter ever collapsed, if their servers went bad, or they just shut their servers down, now my profile, my data profile that they have of me, is gone. And all my accomplishments or anything I've ever done on Twitter is gone because their servers are gone. They either got hacked, or they shut them down, or they went out of business. Now all my accomplishments and everything is gone forever, unless they come back and boot their servers again. But that's not in my discretion. That's up to them, the corporation. And also, this identity is not transportable or portable into other platforms or other websites. So say I'm a restaurant and I have a profile on Google. And when you search up restaurants on Google, there's a rating, there's a score, there's a rating system in terms of in stars. So let's say I have a 5-star restaurant and I have like 1,000 reviews, and everybody loves my restaurant. It has 1,000, or it has 1,000 reviews, and it's 5 stars. If Google ever was hacked or went down or just went out of business or just said screw it, now that identity, that profile of my restaurant is gone. Nobody can see it. And let's say I never created a Yelp, I never created some other restaurant review profile. Now that Google's gone, my rating is gone. Now nobody knows I'm a 5-star restaurant. And even if I tell people, well, yeah, we're a 5-star restaurant on Google, but Google is down and nobody can see it, like why would they believe us? They're gonna be like, well, of course everybody's gonna say they're a 5-star restaurant now that Google's down. And now because Google's down, my Google identity is down, or is gone. And so now I can't show people, like, well, just because Google is down, like I still have 5 stars. Like, how can I show people in with Matrix and through Metis that, like, those contributions are yours to keep? They don't belong to Metis. They don't belong to Matrix. They don't belong to Google or anybody else. They belong to your wallet. So if Matrix ever went down, you still have your wallet, and you're still able to show, like, I have 100 reputation PowerPoints. I'm a credible person. I have a good reputation in the community. Like, I contribute. I don't scam people. I don't screw people over. And you're able to take that despite what happens to Matrix or Metis or anything else. And so because it's your wallet, it's in your wallet, and you're able to take it into any protocols. You know, I can go from quote unquote Google to Yelp and have the same points, and I bring the points in. Yelp doesn't provide them to me because I own the credentials. I own the points. I own my identity. Right now, you don't own your digital identity. Right now, you're renting your digital identity, and it's not portable. It's not interoperable in the Web 2. Um, right now, you're renting your identity from centralized servers that belong to Twitter or Google or Yelp or companies like that, and they're renting your identity, and they're the ones that own it. And all of the data that you have created, they own it, and they're the ones that track it and they monetize it. But in Web 3, you own it. It's in your wallet. You bring it into protocols, and nobody can track it. Nobody can monitor it. Nobody can use it to monetize it. You're the one that uses your own personal data to monetize and do whatever you want and take between different protocols. And so that is really a big thing, that is new to the world. And what Web 3 offers for us is like sovereignty and autonomy for our own digital identities. And that was a really long answer. So yeah.
Well, that was an amazing answer. I would say you really explained the RPS metric system ecosystem pretty well, and how it helps the Metis ecosystem to grow. And I One thing I wanted to ask here is, um,
Hey Ali, we can't hear you no more. Not sure if you're still speaking, but you said you were gonna ask something and then it went silent. I'm not sure if it's just on my end. Um, yeah, can't hear anything, but hopefully you're able to speak before we hop off. Hold on. I see there's a request, but I don't see what the request is. It's not showing. Um, cool. Just we'll just give it a few more minutes. We usually go an hour. We have about like 9 minutes left. If you're able to speak, Ali, go ahead or interrupt me. You can just jump in. Can't hear you, but hopefully before we hop off, we're able to hear you, and you could just jump in. I'll just start sharing. Yeah, last night here in Los Angeles, me and Jackson from CookBook, who's our latest community verified project, who got 100% yes votes through the Metis community governance program. CookBook garnered 100% yes votes, so it's now a CVP, a community verified project, and sponsored by the Metis, Foundation, the Metis Network. So me and Jackson, who's a founder of CookBook, he's here in Los Angeles, and we had a event last night. We had an event for the Los Angeles crypto community, and what we did was introduce them to Metis and to CookBook. So what CookBook does is it pretty much it's a platform, it's a website where you're able to create your own smart contracts without knowing how to code. So it's pretty much a no code smart contract development platform. So if you're starting your own Web3 business and you want to launch your own token, you can go on CookBook and easily launch your own token. It provides you the smart contract. All you do is, you put in how many tokens you want. If you want 100, or if you want a billion, or you want a trillion tokens, you can put that in. If you want a burning mechanism on your token, you can implement that. You can do all these different things. You can launch an NFT marketplace. You can launch a DAO. There's dozens of contracts that you can launch through CookBook, and all you got to do is pretty much click a button, put in the numbers or whatever the customizations you want to the contract. You just type that in, and then you press deploy, and now you have a smart contract. Now you have a smart contract in the blockchain that you can integrate into your protocol. It's also connected to Wix, and where you're able to create your own front end. So you can create your entire website, your entire app on smart contract, the front end and the back end, the smart contract and everything, and just through their website. And so he taught people last night um how to launch their own crypto token, and it was it's really easy to do it. And so we introduced people. We had about 25 people attend, which is really good. And I also introduced people to the Metis ecosystem. I showed people how to create their own Polis account, how to create a decentralized autonomous company, and I showed them how to create their own matrix profile where they can launch their own social NFTs. So people were walked through all the aspects of the Metis network. And so now we've onboarded new users and new builders into the ecosystem. And this was just the first event of many more to come, where we're going to be educating and walking people through the Metis ecosystem, and also how to use CookBook so they can launch their own projects, their own shit coins, their own NFTs, whatever they want to create through CookBook. they can create and launch it on the Metis network. So yeah, so we're hoping this becomes a really popular and hot scene, like Web3 crypto scene, and we want to make Los Angeles one of the world's premier crypto hubs because we're the home of the entertainment industry. There's so many quote unquote creators and influencers, actors, musicians. There's so many people like that out here that everybody wants to launch their own NFT, this and that, but they don't know anything about Web3 or crypto. So everybody's trying to learn, and so what we're trying to do is educate people like on how to launch their own NFT, what is an NFT, what kind of benefits can it bring to you and your community, stuff like that, like the basic things we want to teach people, and really make this a vibrant Web3 scene. And yeah, and hopefully make people want to move over here. Yeah. But we're almost at 11. We're nearing the end. If anybody wants to speak, please request. I will bring you on. Um, Ali, if you want to say anything, go for it. I see. I see. It's telling me you're requesting something, but then when I click on it, it doesn't show me anything, and I assume you're still trying to speak. You are a co-host, but I'm not sure if it's on my end or your end why we can't hear you. So yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, Ali. Can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with this space, but um, it's almost 11, so I'll be shutting this down. It was great to be here. Sorry for the time mix-up. We do start at 4 p.m. Universal Time, so next week we'll start at 4 p.m., not 5 p.m. Um, and yeah, thank you for being here. Hopefully next week we get more people on and we're able to have a more we can exchange words instead of me just talking. But yeah, and hopefully there'll be more to share. Hopefully we can get Cookbook on next week. Jackson will be in Bogota for the hackathon and for DevCon and helping out with all that stuff. So I'm not sure if he'll be available or if anybody from Metis will be available because they'll all be busy with that. But we can still have a space, and we'll, you know, at the very least, we'll have another space like this where it's just us, and hopefully there's more people are able to speak and just share anything that's happening with their projects or anything. So yeah, yeah. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day. It's the morning on my end. I don't know what time it is for you all, but hope you have a great day or a great night. And see you next week. Thank you.